In the world of professional football, no story is ever written in stone, and no destiny is ever sealed before the battle truly begins. One name stirring conversations and debates in NFL circles right now is Shedeur Sanders. As he embarks on his professional football journey, Sanders finds himself at a crossroads, standing amid a fierce and unpredictable competition that could shape not only his immediate future, but also the trajectory of his entire NFL career. Drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, many believed Sanders might quickly emerge as a contender for the starting quarterback role. But as is often the case in the high-stakes world of the NFL, the situation has rapidly evolved, revealing a far more intricate and competitive battlefield for the position than anyone initially anticipated. The Cleveland Browns didn't simply rely on Shedeur Sanders to fortify their quarterback options. They went all in, stacking their roster with both promising rookies and seasoned veterans in what has become one of the most talked-about quarterback competitions of the offseason. Earlier in the draft, the Browns selected Dillon Gabriel, a move that immediately raised eyebrows and signaled their intent to deepen the quarterback room. If that wasn't enough, the front office made bold moves in free agency, acquiring Super Bowl veteran Joe Flacco and former Pittsburgh starter Kenny Pickett. What was once a clear and hopeful path for Sanders has now turned into a crowded and fiercely contested arena, where every pass, every snap, and every decision on the field could dictate the future of these quarterbacks. The intensity surrounding this quarterback battle hasn't gone unnoticed by insiders and analysts. Former NFL wide receiver TJ Houshmandzadeh recently shared intriguing insights about the internal dynamics of the Browns organization. According to him, sources within the building suggest the real competition for the starting role is narrowing down between Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel, leaving Sanders in a precarious position. "I was told by somebody that's in the building that ain't a player. It's really coming down to Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel," he revealed during a recent interview. This kind of revelation casts a long shadow over Sanders' prospects and highlights the increasingly uphill battle he faces in carving out his space on the roster. For those who followed Sanders' college career, this development might come as a surprise. Entering the NFL draft, Sanders was widely viewed as a first-round caliber talent. His performance on the college stage showcased his impressive arm strength, field vision, and leadership qualities, attributes any NFL franchise would covet in a young quarterback. Yet, a series of unexpected circumstances saw him fall to day 3 of the draft, prompting the Browns to trade up and select him in a move that, while bold, didn't necessarily signal long-term commitment. The organization's decision to pick Dillon Gabriel earlier further complicates Sanders' quest for prominence within the team, suggesting a clear strategic preference that may limit Sanders' opportunities to shine. Now, with training camp looming on the horizon, the real battle is set to begin. Every practice, every throw, and every decision on the field will carry immense weight as the Browns coaching staff evaluates which quarterback has the skills, poise, and leadership to guide the team forward. While there remains a conceivable path for Sanders to make an impression, especially with the veteran leadership of Joe Flacco in the mix, the prevailing narrative points toward Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel as the leading contenders. It's a tough position for Sanders, who now must rely not only on his talent but also on resilience, mental toughness, and adaptability to seize whatever chances come his way. This moment marks more than just a competition for a starting job. It's a defining chapter in Sanders' young career. In the unforgiving environment of the NFL, where fortunes can change in a single play and narratives are rewritten overnight, Sanders must confront the odds with determination. The path he faces is steep and uncertain, but it's also lined with opportunity. Whether it's by rising above expectations in training camp or capitalizing on unexpected opportunities during preseason games, Sanders has a chance to remind everyone why he was once projected as a top-tier draft pick. As the quarterback saga in Cleveland continues to unfold, it stands as a powerful reminder of the unpredictable and often ruthless nature of professional sports. For Shedeur Sanders, this chapter might be filled with challenges, but it also presents a rare opportunity for personal growth and professional development. Every rep on the practice field, every meeting with coaches, and every moment of preparation counts now more than ever. The road ahead is undeniably tough, but it's also the kind of path that forges legends. The question that remains is whether Sanders will rise to the occasion, silencing the doubters and proving that he belongs among the NFL's elite quarterbacks. Will he use this fierce competition as fuel to sharpen his skills and solidify his place in the league? Or will the mounting pressure and crowded quarterback room push him to the sidelines? Only time will tell. One thing, however, is certain. This is just the beginning of Shedeur Sanders' professional journey, and whatever the outcome, it will be a story worth watching. As we move closer to the month of July, one of the biggest questions lingering in the NFL world revolves around what exactly the Cleveland Browns are planning to do at the quarterback position. It's a topic that's generating constant debate, rumors, and endless speculation because, truth be told, there's still a great deal of ambiguity surrounding the situation. Right now, there are subtle signs suggesting that the Browns might lean towards experience to start the season, with veterans like Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco potentially holding off the promising rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. But as with everything in the NFL, nothing is set in stone, and the picture could change dramatically over the next few weeks. Head coach Kevin Stefanski finds himself in a tough, pressure-packed situation. The expectations are sky high in Cleveland, and this decision on who will lead the offense could define not only this upcoming season, but Stefanski's long-term future with the franchise. Making a choice based solely on practice performances isn't going to cut it. In a controlled environment, it's much easier for quarterbacks to look sharp and manage the offense. For the true test comes when these players are put in real high-pressure situations against top-tier NFL defenses. That's where games and joint practices against other teams become invaluable, and luckily for Stefanski, he'll get exactly that opportunity. It was officially confirmed this week that the Cleveland Browns will travel to Philadelphia to take part in joint practices with the defending Super Bowl champions, the Eagles. These highly anticipated sessions are scheduled for August 13th and 14th, leading directly into their preseason matchup on August 16th. This setup is perfect for the Browns because it allows them to see their quarterbacks perform not only in their own structured practices, but against one of the most aggressive and talented defensive units in the league. For Kevin Stefanski, it's the ideal measuring stick to see who's truly ready to handle NFL game speed and pressure. The timing couldn't be better. By mid-August, the quarterback competition will likely be heating up, with very little separating the contenders. Every snap, every decision, and every throw will matter. For veterans like Pickett and Flacco, these joint practices present a double-edged sword. On one hand, they get to prove their worth against elite competition. On the other, facing off against the Eagles' ferocious first-team defense could easily expose weaknesses, bad habits, or signs of regression. If either quarterback falters in those practices, it could be devastating for their chances of holding on to the starting role. On the flip side, this situation could work in favor of the young guns. Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders might not get to face the Eagles' starting defense, but that could actually be a blessing. Competing against backups allows them to find rhythm, build confidence, and showcase their abilities without the intense pressure that comes with a first-team defensive front breathing down their necks. If Sanders in particular puts together a strong showing, it might just force Stefanski to seriously reconsider his depth chart heading into the final weeks of preseason. Ultimately, the quarterback situation in Cleveland is one of the most intriguing stories to follow as training camp and preseason unfold. Stefanski will be carefully watching every snap during those joint practices because how his quarterbacks respond against a Super Bowl-winning defense could very well determine who lines up under center when the regular season kicks off. The stakes couldn't be higher for Pickett, Flacco, Gabriel, and Sanders. For the veterans, it's about proving they still have enough in the tank to lead an NFL offense. For the rookies, it's about seizing the moment and showing they can be the future of this franchise, perhaps sooner than anyone expected. And so, as August inches closer, fans and analysts alike will have their eyes glued to every report coming out of those joint practices in Philadelphia. It's not just a test for Cleveland's quarterbacks, it's a defining chapter in what could become one of the Browns' most pivotal seasons in recent memory. Will the old guard hold steady, or will the new blood rise up and take the reins? That's the story waiting to be written on the fields of Philadelphia.